We heard from Angel Reese today, and we heard from Tyler Marsh. Tyler Marsh, folks, let's send our best wishes to Tyler Marsh. He's about to be called every name under the book. Sellout, Uncle Tom. They didn't have the forethought to even say, this is what our story is going to be, and we need to stick to it. This is what our alibi is going to be, and we need to stick to it.
Did the WNBA just launch an official investigation based on a tweet? That's not an exaggeration. It might be the most bizarre moment in recent sports memory. A nationally televised game between the Indiana Fever and the Chicago Sky ended in a 35-point blowout. And yet, almost nobody is talking about the actual basketball. Why? Because hours after the game, social media exploded with claims that Angel Reese was the target of racist fan comments. Yet not a single second of footage, no courtside audio, and not one eyewitness has come forward to confirm anything.
There was actually something newsworthy said today in regards to the alleged hateful fan comments made toward Angel Reese during the Fever and Sky game on Saturday, because the Sky actually gathered for practice today and they spoke, and both the coach and Reese spoke.
It's a narrative that snowballed into something far bigger than it should have been. And what makes it even stranger is that the key people on the court say they didn't hear a thing. That includes Tyler Marsh, the Sky's head coach, who was just feet away from the alleged incident. What he revealed in his post-practice interview not only contradicts Reese's post-game victim narrative, it might just expose the entire investigation is built on absolutely nothing. So, how did we get here? Let's rewind.
The more notable comments came from Tyler Marsh, the head coach of the Chicago Sky. Here is what he said without further ado, which is probably the biggest bit of information, actual information we've gotten since this whole can of worms was opened, other than the actual statement.
Saturday's game between the Indiana Fever and the Chicago Sky should have been headline-worthy on its own. Indiana delivered a performance so dominant, it was almost surgical. A 93-58 victory on the road that left the Sky shell-shocked and scrambling. Caitlin Clark posted a stat line worthy of a veteran all-star. Aaliyah Boston dominated both ends of the floor, and Indiana executed with poise and precision. But instead of fans and analysts celebrating the team's chemistry, what went viral was a narrative that wasn't even in the game footage.
About one investigation with your team is with an investigation.
Yeah, I think we agree. I think we're, in compliance with them, with the league, and obviously there's no room or space in our game for hate. So we're compliant with everything that's going on.
Coach, when did you become aware that there was hate speech that happened?
I think when everyone else did. I think that it's something that we heard about, and so. Again, we're just forthcoming with anything that the league is able to do investigation-wise.
The supposed racial slurs hurled at Angel Reese weren't mentioned by broadcasters, not flagged by referees, not recorded by courtside fans. Instead, they emerged from a now private social media account hours after the final buzzer. No concrete details, no names, no timestamps, just vibes. And somehow, that was enough to trigger a full-blown league investigation. A move that raises serious questions about evidence, accountability, and how sports leagues should handle online outrage.
Just a quick follow-up on it. Just because you coached in Indiana, did you ever have any issues with that while you were coaching there?
I think my focus was always on the team and on the organization and doing my job as best as I could. And so, that's kind of what it is.
Were you learning this throughout the game or just at that moment?
Oh, I was concentrated on our team and what we were doing game plan-wise against Indiana. So.
And before we dive deeper, this channel needs your support to keep uncovering stories the mainstream won't touch. If you value direct, no BS breakdowns like this, take 1 second now to like this video, leave a comment with your thoughts so we can feature your take next time, and subscribe if you haven't already. Seriously, we're building something big here, but we need your voice to do it.
But the telling admission is we found out, or I found out when everyone else did. When did you become aware? When everyone else did. What does that indicate? That the Sky did not know or did not hear anything in real time or see anything in real time. So that makes the Sky, that makes the Fever, that makes me, that makes everyone I talked to who was in the arena, everyone else who has spoken from the arena.
When reporters asked Coach Tyler Marsh about the alleged incident, his response wasn't emotional, it wasn't defensive. It was a calm, direct sentence that, unintentionally, may have exposed everything. I heard when everyone else did. Just 6 words, but they hit like a hammer. He was on the court. He was right there. If anything had happened, anything worth league-level scrutiny, Marsh would have known. Instead, he learned about it on Twitter. That alone is a bombshell.
That makes no cameras, no cell phones. So far, no nothing. To substantiate the alleged hateful fan comments or fan misconduct or however you want to label it, which makes me question mightily what the investigation is based on. And I would love to hear on the record what the investigation is based on, because based on all the information we have, the leading theory has to be it's based on the social media nonsense.
Let's be clear. Marsh's comments weren't vague. He doubled down on his statement, saying the Sky would cooperate with the WNBA, but had no first-hand knowledge of any misconduct. In other words, the entire Chicago bench missed it. The players missed it. The referees missed it. The announcers missed it. Even the fans sitting courtside, many of whom had phones out the entire game, didn't capture a single second of inappropriate behavior. No stop the game, no ejections, no security alerts, just silence, until social media invented noise.
There was another post from an account that I think now went private or deactivated that alleged things were said to Reese, but no even proof that that person was there or not, whether they were there or not, whether they saw or heard anything or not, nothing to back it up. And if that is indeed the case, it's embarrassing. It is embarrassing. It really, really now seems like this is based on social media, and that the social media stuff was based on Sky fans online who couldn't handle getting the belt to the ass, who couldn't handle the beating that the Indiana Fever put out on the Sky there.
And yet, this invented noise is now being treated like fact. If the league is reacting to viral narratives instead of verified incidents, what does that say about the standard of evidence? How far can baseless accusations go if they're made by the right people with enough followers? The implications go far beyond one player or one game. This is about how reality itself gets rewritten in the age of outrage.
After watching Caitlin Clark's flagrant foul on Angel Reese and the aftermath, there is no way Angel Reese can continue the lie that she doesn't dislike Caitlin Clark. I know what hatred looks like. Angel Reese hates Caitlin Clark, not some basketball rivalry hate.
In the hours after the game, Angel Reese didn't go to the league. She didn't go to her coach. She went straight to social media. First, she reshared a TikTok featuring photos of herself and Caitlin Clark alongside the caption, "White gal running from the fade." It was subtle to some, inflammatory to others. But what's beyond debate is this. She set the tone. She framed the narrative. Not with facts, not with footage, but with insinuation.
And there is a lot of history there with Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. You guys remember last year when Angel Reese celebrated Kennedy Carter getting that flagrant foul on the hip check against Caitlin Clark? You remember that? On the sideline, just, yeah, baby, get her, you get her.
Then came the press conference. Reese, visibly emotional, spoke about how tough it was to deal with the alleged comments. She said her support system was strong and how this could have happened to anyone. Her voice cracked. Her tone was somber. But curiously, when asked for details, what exactly she heard, where it came from, when it occurred, her answers became vague, deflections, evasions. "That's not a me question," she said when asked where the remarks came from.
After the foul that Caitlin Clark put on Angel Reese tried to hit her. But if it wasn't for Aaliyah Boston putting her arms in the way, Angel Reese would not be playing basketball anymore, because she was going to sucker punch Caitlin Clark.
This wasn't an isolated moment either. The pattern was familiar. Like after the NCAA championship, when she mocked Clark with the "you can't see me" gesture and later defended it as just competitive spirit. Every time Reese faces scrutiny, there's a pivot, away from the court into a controversy. And this time, it wasn't just theatrics. It led to an official investigation by the league, which only adds legitimacy to a story still waiting on basic proof.
Tyler Marsh is about to get run out of Chicago. First things first, let's hear what Angel Reese has to say. Let's hear Angel Reese. And if you guys pay attention, listen to her voice and listen to how she's on the edge of breaking down. Very funny.
Hate speech.
Yeah, obviously there's no place in this league for that. I think the WNBA.
Let's also watch the nervous body language, the nervous twitching. Yeah.
Our team and our organization has done a great job supporting me. I've had communication from everyone, from so many people across this league, and being able to support me and going through this whole process. Obviously, it could happen to me, it could happen to anyone, and I think they've done a great job supporting us in this.
How did it affect you Saturday, trying to do your job, trying to play, and having this going on simultaneously?
Yeah, obviously it's tough, but I think I have a great support system. I'm loved by so many people, and obviously in the moment it's hard to hear, but my support system is great.
Now let's compare that to how Caitlin Clark responded. No shade, no victimhood, just a simple professional statement. There's no place for that in our game. There's no place for that in society. She clarified that she didn't hear any comments during the game, but fully supported the league's right to look into the matter. No blame, no drama, just clarity.
What do you think the league's response, just coming out right away and getting that investigation going?
Yeah, obviously, like I said, they understand that this is the priority. Obviously, there's no place for this, and they preach. I think 2 days before they put out no hate, no speech. And obviously, the women in this league, they know that, and know there's no space for that. And I believe that every player in this league deserves to be treated with respect and want to come to work and just have fun and have a great environment to work at. So I think they've done a great job putting that out, and we're obviously just going to respond as they need to.
Were you able to?
Damn, I really wish Angel Reese would talk and step up about all of her fans calling people all these nasty names. Oh, how being silent is such a blessing. Such a blessing it is to be silent and have nobody being critical of you.
That's the contrast that keeps showing up again and again. When Clark is asked about controversy, she sidesteps it to talk basketball. When Reese is asked, she leans in and often adds fuel to the fire. Clark lets her play speak. Reese lets her fan base speak, and what they're shouting on social media isn't helping her image. Hundreds of tweets accuse Clark fans of being racist, of needing to get out of the league, of being protected by whiteness.
And like Caitlin said, she answered it perfectly. She said, I didn't hear her say anything, but that doesn't mean anything happened. But now, when you have Caitlin saying that, and Bree Turner saying what she said, which implied she didn't hear her say anything, and Stephanie White saying what she said, which implied she didn't hear her say anything, and Tyler Marsh saying he found out when everyone else did, and myself, and no one, who was courtside, no cameras, no video, no nothing. What else are you supposed to think? Especially when the entire thing is vague, especially when the line of questioning to Angel Reese is vague.
But here's the thing. Not a single piece of evidence has surfaced. No crowd video, no audio capture, no security alert, nothing. And that's what makes Clark's composure so powerful. She doesn't have to overreact, because the facts are already working in her favor. She's not just winning on the court, she's winning in the way she carries herself through chaos.
No one in those first few questions asked Angel what she saw or heard. Now, according to James Boyd of The Athletic, he said that she was later asked, were you able to give the WNBA details of where the general vicinity was you heard stuff? And she said, that's not a me question, meaning it wasn't for her. Then later somebody asked, what would you like the league to do with those fans? And Sky PR interrupted, saying she already answered that.
Despite the lack of any actual proof, the WNBA announced it had launched a formal investigation into the alleged comments. Their statement strongly condemned racism, hate, and discrimination, as they should. But what's glaring is what their statement didn't include. Any mention of evidence. No incident report. No official complaint filed during the game. No on-record confirmation from referees, staff, or players.
But I really wish she would, first someone would ask her, and then, I think when she said it's hard to hear, meaning it's hard to hear as like you don't like to hear, or you couldn't actually hear. Just the whole vague aspect of it, and just kind of everybody just going along with it. When I don't know if there's anything to actually go along with.
And it's not like this was a low-key affair. The game was nationally televised with multiple camera angles, courtside mics picking up every squeak of a sneaker and every timeout conversation. If something had been said loud enough to be heard courtside, there's no way the mics wouldn't have caught it. The broadcasters never addressed it. The referees never paused the game. The arena announcer didn't issue a fan conduct warning.
But right now, it is not a good look. It is certainly not a good look. Especially after the season just started and you get record ratings. You get record ratings. Caitlin Clark's back, playing awesome basketball, gets a triple-double. Fever looked great. And somehow, it appears a couple of Twitter trolls have completely dictated the coverage of the WNBA.
So what exactly is the WNBA investigating? Rumors? Tweets? The whispers of a now deactivated social account? If that's the case, it sets a dangerous precedent. It suggests that anyone can manufacture drama post-game and have it treated like fact, so long as it generates enough clicks. The league risks becoming a pawn in internet theatrics instead of an impartial enforcer of fairness. Hardwood.
Hey, Angel, how is it like dealing with the environment of people calling you all those names? Oh, if it can happen to me, it can happen to anyone. Oh, Angel, how did it feel? How did you push through that? Oh, well, obviously it's hard to hear. Wait, did it happen to you or did you not hear anything happen to you? That's very interesting.
This isn't the first time Angel Reese has been at the center of post-game drama. Fans will remember the infamous NCAA title game where she taunted Clark after the final buzzer with the now infamous finger point and "you can't see me" taunts. That moment alone split the internet. Some praised her fire, others slammed it as unsportsmanlike. Either way, it dominated headlines for days.
Angel Reese, the WNBA came out and got ahead of any type of wrongdoing and are starting their own investigation. Can you please tell us what was said? Angel, can you please tell us what the fans said to you? Angel, can you please tell us what you heard when you were sitting at the check-in table? Angel, when you were acting like a complete unhinged lunatic, can you please tell us what the families of four were screaming at you from the stands? Oh, that's very interesting. I'm going to assume that this is a whole entire hoax. Is it not, Angel? Angel, do you think the WNBA is the most unserious basketball league in the history of the world? Next question. Oh, okay.
And here we are again. When Reese loses, this time in a humiliating 35-point blowout, the story shifts from the scoreboard to the sidelines, but the pattern is crystal clear. Clark puts up elite numbers, plays like a professional, and walks away. Reese struggles on the court and walks into another controversy. This isn't coincidence anymore. It's brand building through conflict.
58 points. 30 whatever point win. You know, embarrassing. They got embarrassed, and now this reaction is embarrassing. I almost can't believe it's real.
It's not that Reese is orchestrating the drama entirely, but she's certainly not stopping it either. When asked for clarity, she leans on ambiguity. When asked for receipts, she offers emotion. And when asked for accountability, like clarifying what she actually heard, she defers or changes the subject. The result? A cloud of suspicion that hangs over a moment that should have been all about the game. While everyone was busy debating screenshots and TikToks, the Indiana Fever were quietly putting together one of their most dominant games of the season. Aaliyah Boston was a force in the paint with 19 points and 13 rebounds. Lexi Hull chipped in with a near double-double. Dana Bonner climbed into the record books as the third highest scorer in WNBA history. And the team as a whole shot 47% from the field while holding Chicago to a dismal 29%. This wasn't just a win, it was a masterclass. They out-rebounded the Sky, out-passed them, out-hustled them. And when the game got physical, Indiana stayed composed. Even when Caitlin Clark was slapped with a questionable flagrant one for a defensive play on Reese, there was no retaliation, no meltdown, just execution. That's the real headline here. A young team with star power and poise made a statement, and it was drowned out by noise. Manufactured controversy stole the spotlight from actual excellence. And that's not just disappointing, It's a disservice to the game itself. It's no secret that drama gets clicks. This game drew 2.7 million viewers, the most for a WNBA regular season game in 25 years. But ask yourself, how many of those tuned in to watch basketball, and how many came for the feud? The WNBA's No Space for Hate campaign is noble, but right now it's being weaponized as a shield against fair criticism and scrutiny. Say something critical of Reese's stat line. You're a hater. Ask for proof of the fan comments. You're not believing women. Wonder why an investigation launched without a shred of evidence? You're racist. This isn't discourse. It's deflection. And it's damaging the credibility of the league, the sport, and the athletes who aren't chasing clout. Meanwhile, Clark just keeps showing up. Every game, she does her job. Every press conference, she says the right things. And every controversy, she rises above it. That's how legacies are built. Not through hashtags, but through humility. One player's making history on the court. The other's rewriting it on Instagram. What actually happened on that court was simple. One team came prepared. The other didn't. Indiana played smart, fast, and fearless. Chicago played frustrated, sloppy, and scattered. That's not controversial. That's basketball. What is controversial is how the league has allowed a cloud of suspicion to hang over a moment that deserved celebration. As fans, we should demand more, not just from players, but from the league itself. Investigate when there's evidence. Speak up when there's silence. But don't confuse retweets with reality. Don't reward distraction over discipline. And don't let one player's narrative steal the spotlight from an entire team's brilliance. If you made it this far, you're clearly part of the tribe that values truth over trends. So take a second, hit that like button, drop a comment below with your thoughts, and subscribe if you haven't yet. Let's build a channel that highlights real basketball, real stories, and refuses to be manipulated by clickbait. Thanks for watching, and remember, sometimes the loudest noise is covering up the quiet truth.